Today on Studio G, we take a look at Election Day here in Nevada and some of as well as the shooting in South Carolina that turned deadly.
Plus, Carfax develops an app that can help users check if you have any recalls on your car.
Welcome and thanks for tuning in to Studio G. I'm Sherelle Moore.
And I'm Monica Medrano. The verdict from the Boston bombing trial has been released this morning. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev has been convicted of 1 count of conspiracy to use a weapon of mass destruction, a count of use of a firearm, as well as the use of a weapon of mass destruction. Tsarnaev is still subject to a possible death penalty. Hooters, the restaurant brand made famous for their waitress and wings, says its largest location to date is coming to the Palms Casino. Hooters of America and the Palms Casino have announced today that over 15,000 square foot franchise location would open in June inside of the Palms, with the poolside bar opening in May. The size outdoes a 10,000 square foot Dallas location and will make the largest Hooters in the world.
Indiana Pacers forward Chris Copeland, his wife, and another woman were stabbed outside of a Manhattan nightclub early this morning. Authorities say the violence broke out just before 4 a.m. outside of a One Oak club. The couple was arguing on the street as the attacker eavesdropped and started to interfere. Copeland was stabbed in the left elbow and abdomen. The suspected attacker is in custody and a knife was recovered at the scene. Apple has released a new photo app for Mac computers today as a free software update that will allow users to easily organize and edit pictures. The app, which replaces iPhoto, bundles professional level tools such as granular color correction into a free consumer package. It includes things such as auto-enhancing and cropping, but it goes further by also including some of the advanced tools you would find in some programs like Adobe Lightroom.
Yesterday was Election Day. People from all over the valley headed to the polls to cast their vote. Julie Barker explains what exactly this election could mean for Las Vegas and what happened at yesterday's polls.
We have new council people, a new mayor. Some people actually can be elected in the primary election. If they receive more than 50% of the vote, then they're elected and they don't have to go on to a general election. So some of these cities may not necessarily have a general election at all. In municipal elections, if you live in unincorporated Clark County, you cannot vote. A lot of people get a bit confused about that, especially people who live in unincorporated Clark County. They think they can vote in municipals and they're unhappy when they can't, but that's just how it works.
It has been kind of steady, especially after 10 a.m. this morning until now.
Incumbent Mayor Carolyn Goodman will be returning as Las Vegas mayor by receiving 54.19% of the vote. Her opponent, Stavros Anthony, wasn't far behind. He received 42.1% of the vote. Elected councilmen for Las Vegas include Lois Tarkanian for Ward 1, Bob Coffin for Ward 3, and Ricky Barlow for Ward 5. To view the full results of the Nevada 2015 election, you can visit clarkcounty.gov.
A shooting that took place yesterday morning has left 1 dead and 1 in custody. Reporter Andre Walls gives us more detail on the incident.
Michael T. Slager, a white South Carolina police officer, was charged with murder yesterday after shooting an unarmed black male. An eyewitness was able to record the incident on his cell phone.
The video is very demonstrative of exactly what happened.
My initial reaction is a gut reaction that I'm horrified and distressed when I see those images.
William S. Boyd School of Law professor Rachel Anderson expresses how the recent shootings, specifically on black males, have shook up the black community throughout the country.
I think that it is both a passed down fear of the historic experiences, the experiences of parents and grandparents, but also experiences right now.
The victim, 50-year-old Walter Scott, is among one of the many police-related shootings that have involved African Americans in recent times around the nation.
I work with police here in Las Vegas, and we found that in our conversations, when I drive down the street and I'm not doing anything illegal, and I probably am not profiled as someone they might stop, I'm afraid when I see a police officer.
I don't think that all police officers are bad cops, but there are some bad ones out there.
I know older people here in Nevada who say, you know, you've got to be really careful. We've got really high rates of shooting. It's very dangerous.
You know, I think that all of these police officers on this force, men and women, are like my children. So you tell me how a father would react to seeing this child do something.
Whoever you are, you may imagine yourself in the position of one of the people involved, whoever it is. And so it really touches a personal nerve because you imagine yourself or someone that you know in that situation.
In recent years, the Ferguson shooting case and the murder of Trayvon Martin have caused riots and outrage after verdicts did not seem justified to some African Americans.
It absolutely sends the message that if you are black and a police officer who is white decides that they're afraid of you, that they will be able to shoot you with impunity.
Let's let the police departments reform themselves, because there has to be change.
The place where something needs to be done is in actually addressing the assumptions that cause people to assume that someone is dangerous.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Andre Walls.
According to the Supreme Court, an officer may use deadly force on a fleeing suspect as long as probable cause is evident and that the suspect poses a significant threat to death or serious physical injury to the officer. The Justice Department and the FBI are currently investigating the case.
Well, there's a lot going on today, and you know, recently you did that story on the election. You told me that you went to an election party.
Right, I got to go to an election party for Ricky Barlow. He was elected into Ward 5 as our councilman. It was a pretty fun experience. Okay. After the break, we bring you the national news with Nicole. Don't go away.
The name of my show is Spinning Indie. We play a lot of alternative music. We play post-punk, a lot of stuff coming out from unsigned or newly signed bands. I like to play an hour of music, and then after the first hour we talk a ton about latest music news in the second hour. A lot of rock and roll going on the show. I'm Kylie O'Rourke, and you can listen to Spinning Indie on rebelht2.com.
My show is called Window on the Middle East, and it deals with all the issues that deal with the Middle East. Middle East is a very important part of the world. I grew up in America, and yet I'm from the Middle East. It's a commoner's viewpoint based on experience as well as scholarship. My name is Shervin Mushuri. I'm the host of the talk show Window on the Middle East at the rebelht2.com.
The show is La Alternativa. It's the alternative in Spanish. It's mainly a music show. We play Latin alternative music from all over Latin America, Mexico, Chile, sometimes Spain. Sometimes we talk about news stories that we feel aren't being covered in like mainstream media, specifically Latin stories. It could be anything like protest, social activism, anything we find interesting, pretty much. I want them to discover new music. I don't think that many people in the U.S. know about Latin alternative music. It's very similar to alternative music here in the U.S., but in Spanish, and it talks about issues going on over there. And also kind of see what's going on in Latin America. There's a lot of, I think, activism that's kind of missing in the U.S. a little bit.
My name is Bruce Gill. I'm the host of La Alternativa. Check it out at therebelht2.com.
Welcome back from the break. I'm Nicole Reynolds with your National News Update. We begin this afternoon with another scare at our nation's capital. According to U.S. officials, the White House computer system was hacked yesterday, and the infiltration is said to have come by the hands of Russian hackers. The White House had noticed suspicious activity in October of last year and believed the cyber intrusion began with a phishing agent that used a State Department email account. The FBI, Secret Service, and U.S. intelligence agencies are investigating, but all say this is one of the most sophisticated attacks launched.
We have different systems here at the White House. So we have an unclassified system, and then we have a classified system, a top secret system. That is where the sensitive national security information is, the classified information is. That was a secure system.
Although the hackers weren't able to obtain classified information, they were still able to get a hold of private details, including the president's schedule. And unfortunately for the west end of the country, things aren't looking so well either. California is currently facing one of the most severe droughts to date. A drought state of emergency was declared in January, and state officials are taking all necessary actions to preserve water. New mandatory reductions are now in effect for the state. Some reductions include prohibiting new homes and developments from irrigating with potable water unless water-efficient drip irrigation systems are used, banning the water of ornamental grass on public street medians, and the replacement of 50 million square feet of lawns with drought-tolerant landscaping. In addition to the mandatory reductions, Governor Edmund Brown is calling local water suppliers to report their monthly water usage, conservation, and enforcement actions. And while California is facing a lack of rain, the Midwest is buried by that and more.
Kind of stuff, but I've never seen anything like this before. Especially since if you go down the street anywhere, it's nothing like this. That pile must be 10 feet tall.
Both Indiana and Missouri have been faced with storms both normal and out of the ordinary for this time of the year. The storms brought forth rain, snow, and in some parts hail, enough to damage streets, homes, and the Boonville courthouse. Many customers, including a mall, were without power yesterday due to downed power lines, some of which proceeded to catch on fire. Crews are working to restore electricity and clean up debris from roadways. But while it seems like a lot of the country is dealing with a string of bad luck, one Illinois 7th grader found the gold at the end of the rainbow. 12-year-old Sam Holtz tied for first in ESPN's men's basketball tournament bracket challenge, beating more than 11 million other people. The prize was an entrance into a drawing for a $20,000 gift card to Best Buy and the trip to a basketball invitational in Hawaii.
If I did get it, I'd probably get an Xbox because I really want one. But right now I feel pretty excited.
Unfortunately for Holtz, he is too young to claim his prize. Rules stated he needed to be 18 years of age, and he used his father's email to enter. As consolation, SportsCenter offered to let the young man anchor one of the episodes of their show. And finally, bye-bye, Miss American Pie. The manuscript to this American classic is going up for auction. Singer-songwriter Don McLean, who is now 70, decided it was finally time to part from the original 16-page rough draft of his hit, American Pie. The 8.5-minute-long song, filled with lyrical symbolism, hit #1 in 1972. The handwritten piece achieved the third highest auction price for an American literary manuscript. And just how much did this piece of memorabilia sell for? Well, $1.2 million. And that's all the national news I have for you this week. After the break, Dina Banning sits down with the KUNV Operations Manager. Stay with us.
The name of our show is Deep Thought. We talk about anything that can be discussed from a philosophical angle.
Being able to critically think and back up their claims with evidence, just like justifying their beliefs. We mix it up. Sometimes we just have pure discussion, sometimes we have interviews and then commentary.
Maybe find a little bit more meaning in life, kind of understand what's going on and why from a little bit deeper perspective, I think are the main two things.
My name is Walter from Deep Thought, and listen to us on the Rebel HD2.
Your community's farmers market. welcoming, lively, friendly. A place where neighbors and friends come together to celebrate their community. With over 50 vendors, organic, sustainable, fresh produce are available just for you. Support and buy local at Fresh 52.
Welcome back. Today, I'm sitting here with Dave Norris, the Operations Manager for KUNV. Thank you for being with us today, Dave.
It's my pleasure, Dana.
Okay, so please tell us what's going on with the pledge drive.
So KUNV, as you may or may not know, KUNV works twice a year with our listeners to solicit funds. One of the things that we have to do, because we're a public radio station, is find a way to solicit money from our audience so we can stay on the air. As a public radio station, we can't play commercials. It's one of the things mandated by the FCC. They say, you're a public radio station, so your number one priority is to serve the public. Your number one priority shouldn't be making money. So one of the ways that we have to raise the necessary funds needed to stay on the air is by asking our audience for their help. So we do what's called, the standard, if you've watched PBS, they do the telethons. It's the radio version of that. We ask our listeners for their help. We say, hey, if you like what you're listening to, if you enjoy this music, if you appreciate the news or the cultural programming that you get, are you willing to support it? And not necessarily everybody is in a financial position where they can do that, but fortunately we've been very lucky to have a great audience who is willing to step up and make that financial commitment to the radio station. So we've been very, very supported by the generosity of our listeners.
Oh, that's lovely. So can you tell me, do you call out to the listeners? Do you make phone calls, or is it just on?
So the way that it works is it's pretty one-directional. We will hijack, for better or worse, we'll hijack the airwaves for about 9 days. And we're going to start the pledge drive this Saturday morning. And from this Saturday morning until the following Sunday, so for the 9 days subsequent to that, we will be taking over the airwaves and we will be interrupting the music or the cultural programming, taking a time out to say, hey, listen, if you enjoy what you're listening to right now, if you like this music, if you know that this is the only place where you're going to hear the programming that you want, whether it is the indie rock or the electronic or the underground hip hop on our student-run station, the classic jazz on our HD3, the contemporary jazz on our HD1 channel, if you like this programming and it's worth something to you, are you willing to support it? And people can support it at whatever level they feel like. If you're on a limited budget because maybe you're in school and you're just trying to eat tomorrow and you can only donate $5, that's fine, that's $5. But if you're somebody who maybe has been very successful in business and you can do more than that, $500, $1,000. We've had folks donate the whole spectrum. We've even had people call in and say, I love what you guys are doing, but I'm so broke right now, I can't support, but as soon as I have some money, I will. It's the outreach that we have had from our community, letting us know that they appreciate what we're doing.
That's touching.
Is really touching.
That is touching. Okay, so what about the people who are going to be, I guess these are pre-recorded kind of blasts?
It's not even pre-recorded. What we'll do is we will have our traditional hosts who are on the air Monday through Friday. Mm-hmm. They'll do their show like normal. But then we have what's called a pitch partner. And that's somebody like myself or somebody else from the radio station who's going to come in and they're going to hang out with the host. And we're going to be just like we are right now. We're having a conversation. I'm telling you, this is why I love KUNV. And this is why I think it's worth supporting. And then you're going to tell the same thing to me. And the people who are listening, they're going to hear us having a conversation. So it's not just one person reading off a script. This is why it's important to pledge to public radio.
Right.
It's that interaction. It's you getting excited about it. It's me getting excited about it. It's hopefully our audience getting excited about it. And ultimately, we're able to raise the necessary money that we need to stay on the air.
With your energy, I'm sure. It's very easy to get people excited.
We have a really good time. And to make it fun, we do try to keep it upbeat. The message is important, and we want people to respond to that. We want people to know that, if we don't have their support, we call our audience our lifeblood, because without them, we simply wouldn't be there. Aww. But at the same point in time, if we're not having fun, why do they want to support us? So we try to keep it as upbeat as possible, and people really do respond favorably.
Oh, well, I wish you and KUNV all the luck in the world. So thank you for being here with us today, Dave. We look forward to the funds KUNLV will be receiving, and thank you.
The name of the show is Latin Nights with Ana. The music is Latin themed, dancing music, like for a Friday night, like if you're going out. While you get ready, you dance to the music that is being played. I would like them to have fun with the music that I play, feel connected to me even though that they don't know me, but that the music that I play for them is what they like and what they want to dance to. My name is Ana and the name of my show is Latin Nights with Ana, and you can listen to me at therebelhd2.com.
If you told me my best friend would have died at 19, never would I have thought it'd be from a heroin overdose. I should have seen the signs, but sometimes you only see what you want to see. And sometimes a certain darkness is needed to see the stars. Some are never given the gift of recovery in time, so fight for your life while you still have one, because there is no hero in heroin, only those who overcome.
Like most schools, to attend UNLV, you need certain immunization shots. You need 2 doses of measles, mumps, and rubella, also known as MMR, if you are born in or after 1957. Also, students living on campus, if you are a freshman and under the age of 23 years old, you will also need to have immunization for Neisseria meningitis. If you are up to date on your immunizations, you will just need to prove this to UNLV. Immunization card signed by a physician or nurse that includes the facility name and address, or high school or college records, or military, state, or county records, or a lab report that indicates immunity or health department records. If you are not up to date on your immunizations, you can get your immunizations at a private physician, the public health department, or some local pharmacies. But your best bet may be to get your immunizations done right here at UNLV.
Coming to UNLV who have not matriculated yet, we offer the vaccines that they need in order to matriculate, and that's the measles, mumps, rubella, and the tetanus, diphtheria. And for students who are going to be incoming freshmen into the dormitories, we offer the meningitis vaccine as well.
Convenient due to close proximity, it is on campus in the Student Health Center. It is also less expensive than most locations.
Cost immunizations to students as well. Pretty much the cheapest place in town to get all their immunizations. The MMR and is $62, the tetanus diphtheria is $32, and the meningitis vaccine is $115.
At the health district, they charge a $20 administration fee for your first immunization shot and $6 for each additional shot. And this does not include the actual cost of the vaccines. Once you have your immunizations complete, you can either email your records to unlvsupport@unlv.edu, or you can fax or mail your records to the Enrollment Services Center at 4505 South Maryland Parkway, Box 451029, Las Vegas, Nevada 89154. Their phone number is 702-895-3443.
Car recalls are at an uprising issue here in the Las Vegas Valley. Reporter Dina Banning hits the campus to find out how UNLV students are being affected.
We've developed the My Carfax app to help people keep their cars well maintained, and open recalls is a significant part of keeping your car well maintained to make sure it's performing as it should, as well as protecting you when you're driving it on the road.
Right now we're standing outside the Student Union here at UNLV. We're in the parking lot and we're going to see if any UNLV students have any recalls on their car with the new My Carfax app. Let's find out. Okay, awesome. Where's your car? Over this way. Hi. Do you mind if we run your license plate number to see if you have any recalls on your car today? Sure. There's this really cool app. It's with Carfax. It has all the history of your vehicle stuff, so it lets you know when you need an oil change, your tires rotated, when your registration's running out, when you need your emission inspected. It has everything. It's really great.
That is very cool.
No open recalls. Yes, thankfully. Let's see.
Hopefully there's
no open recalls.
Thank
you. Are
you.
safe on the street.
Okay.
No recalls. Good job.
Hell yeah.
No open recalls. You have
Well,
no
that's
recalls
great.
on your car. You have no open recalls.
Yay!
Thank goodness.
That's good. With two little ones, no, that would be bad. I don't want
But it looks like you need to renew your registration.
Carfax works with the manufacturers to alert as many people as possible. The manufacturers report their open recall information to Carfax. That information exists in our national database of recalls, and we make it available free through our My Carfax app. We know that of all the vehicles that are on the road today, 46 million of them have an unfixed recall, according to the information reported to us by those manufacturers.
So today we ran many UNLV students' license plate numbers on the My Carfax app to look for any recalls. Fortunately enough for the UNLV students here, we didn't find any yet. But if you're concerned about any recalls on your vehicle, you may download the My Carfax app in the App Store for free. For Studio G, I'm Dina Banning.
You can visit mycarfax.com or download this free app on the App Store on your smartphone.
This past Monday, the White House invited thousands of children to partake in the traditional Easter egg roll. Alyssa Stein has more on the story.
On Monday, President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama held the 137th annual White House Easter egg roll. More than 35,000 people showed up at the White House. Thousands of children gathered on the South Lawn for a day full of activities. This was also the 5th year of First Lady Michelle Obama's Let's Move initiative. In addition to the normal traditions, the President and First Lady challenged everyone to use the hashtag #GiveMe5 for social media. Mrs. Obama urged participants to find 5 new ways to lead a healthier lifestyle.
Well, you guys, welcome to the Easter egg roll. And as you've heard, this is the 5th anniversary of Let's Move. And we're celebrating by taking over the Easter egg roll with hashtag #GiveMe5. And for those of you who don't know about the #GiveMe5 challenge, that's the fun, exciting way that we're trying to get the whole country to celebrate the 5th birthday of Let's Move. And we're asking Americans of all ages to give me 5 ways they're leading a healthier life. 5 jumping jacks, eating 5 new vegetables, maybe doing a Gimme 5 dance, you name it. And go on and Instagram it, hashtag #GiveMe5, and then challenge somebody else.
The day consisted of the traditional egg roll, games, activities, live entertainment, and the president reading his favorite childhood book, Where the Wild Things Are.
Childhood book, Where the Wild Things Are. Have you guys read some of this before? Do you mind if I read it again? Okay.
With the healthy theme of this year's Easter at the White House, the day also consisted of obstacle courses, basketball, tennis, yoga, healthy cooking stations, and dancing. Michelle Obama even got in on the fun with America's So You Think You Can Dance crew. Reporting for Studio G, I'm Alyssa Stein.
If you want to participate in the Let's Move social media campaign, hashtag #GiveMe5 and list 5 ways on how you stay active and healthy. So, back to the Carfax story, do you have any recalls on your car?
I do. I actually have 2 recalls on my car. It's funny that, Dina didn't find anybody that had any recalls, and I'm lucky enough to have 2 on my car. So it's really great, and I wish I had that app and found out sooner before I explode. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but that Easter egg hunt looked really fun.
That looked really fun. I feel like I can get into that. Okay, well, that's all we have time for today. Tune in tomorrow for another edition of Studio G. I'm Sherelle Moore.
And I'm Monica Medrano. Thanks for watching.